Hey, what's up, everybody? Thank you for downloading episode 129 of We Got This with Mark and Hal. We are coming to New York City, doing a live show as part of New York Comic Con Presents. You can get tickets for that show right now. It's bit.ly/WeGotNY. That's all lowercase. It's going to be on Sunday, October 8th. 6 p.m. at the Hudson Mercantile. We are going to have a great guest. I'm not going to tell you who it is yet. I'm going to save it for later, but get your tickets now. The live shows are always a blast. And if you're going to be there for New York Comic Con, you can come see the show. If you're in New York and not coming to Comic Con, you can come see the show because you do not need an NYCC badge to get in. So get your tickets right now, bit.ly/WeGotNY. And we'll see you there. We'll also see you at Dragon Con, Labor Day weekend in Atlanta. We have our panel upcoming. We're going to do a live recording with guest Scott Adsit. Finally, we're going to redo the episode you wanted us to overturn. That is Best Superpower. And that is coming during Labor Day weekend at Dragon Con. So we'll see you in Atlanta. We'll have all sorts of panels and shows. We're doing signings. You can see us there. It's going to be a great time. But for now, enjoy episode 129 of We Got This with Mark and Hal.
Hello, I'm Hal Lublin.
And I'm Mark Gagliardi.
Since the dawn of humanity, one issue has gone unsettled. With the fate of the world in the balance, we're here to settle, once and for all, oceans or pools.
That's right. Don't worry, everyone. We got this.
Podcast should have a theme song. Podcast should not have a theme song. Yes, they should. No, they shouldn't. They sound good. Yeah, but people are just going to skip past it. You know what? You're right. We got this.
Hal, it's summertime.
Summertime, summertime.
Summertime.
Summertime. No more teachers. No, that's the beginning of summer. This is the end of summer.
Yeah, but it's still summertime, so we're going to talk about the best places to swim.
Yes, well, we're going to talk about the best place to swim.
The best place to swim.
Because it comes down to two things. But first, Haley Thompson suggested this. Let me get that out there.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Haley.
Thank you, Haley.
We have a guest to help us out. This is, by the way, I put this on the Facebook group today, but this is the shortest time in recording an episode with a guest and then that episode going up. Because we were recording this on Monday, August 14th, and tomorrow, August 15th, this episode goes live. So we're in real time. And our guest is one half of the Double Clicks. She's a writer. She's a comedian. She's a podcaster. She's an all-around great human being. And she's long overdue to be on this show, Angela Weber.
Hello.
Hi, Angela.
I'm so happy to be here.
New to Los Angeles.
Yes.
Welcome.
A week ago. A week.
Yeah.
What have you done this week?
We have done a lot of work in our house. We're releasing an album tomorrow, so there's a lot of things to be done. But I feel like I've also spent some time swimming, which I think we should talk about later.
Yeah.
I don't want to spoil or color my opinion about that. And, really not enough good stuff to answer that question.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Well, when you move, that's the first thing that happens.
Yeah. Lots of panic attacks and traffic. So many of them.
Yeah, you're super new to the point, and you are from Portland,
yes,
where you don't need to drive, but you drove there.
Yeah, I did drive there, and I drive, and we do have left turns in Portland, but it's not the anarchy that it is here.
Right.
It's just a little bit much in this area.
Yeah, it's super aggressive.
Yeah.
What did you drove down, right?
Yes, we did drive.
Had you driven in LA before? Because I feel like the
Yeah.
times you visited, there have been times where you had a car and times where you were just you just didn't have a car.
Yeah, I visit and I will drive when I visit, and I thought I was I'm fine, I love LA, but I think it's the stress of you have to figure out your entire life now. Everything is depending on you.
Mm-hmm.
You may run into a celebrity at any time, and
Could happen.
also traffic is the gosh darn worst.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
the worst, which is such a fun thing to talk about.
Yeah. That's what podcasts are for sitting in traffic.
Yeah.
So here's to everybody who's sitting in traffic right now looking for some escapism.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
they're getting is more about traffic.
You're welcome.
Did you have growing up? Did you have let me set this up.
Yeah.
In Philly, when I was a little kid, we listened to WMMR, which was classic rock. Wimmer. And John DeBella was the morning DJ at the Morning Zoo, and he would give you the traffic, but he would say instead of the Delaware Expressway, it was the DeBellaware Expressway. You'd come up with traffic down the DeBellaware Expressway. I can't remember any of the other ones, but it was like the Horse 95 or whatever. Did you have that? Did you have like a crazy, wacky traffic person on the radio?
Yeah, well, I grew up outside of Boston.
Okay.
And so we were always concerned about the traffic, but I don't remember that being interesting in any way when it happened. There's traffic on the 3s, and we tune into it, and like our clock in our car was always wrong because we're always late everywhere, and so we'd set it ahead, and then I just hated listening to talk radio all the time, so we'd have to listen to it extra because our clock was wrong to get to the 3s. And then it's Boston, so it's just like traffic is terrible and everyone's angry. Like, that's every time.
Isn't everyone just angry all the time in Boston anyway?
Yeah. On the 3s, at least. They're always.
We used to have our air traffic guy he was like, his reports were totally fine, but he went by the name Buck Naked.
Oh, that's hilarious.
This is Tennessee.
Wow.
So it was, I'm buck naked in an airplane, or I'm buck naked over Knoxville.
That's pretty good.
Oh, I just got that.
Yeah.
That's so good.
Isn't that great?
That's really
'Cause
good.
he's like
Let's
a
talk
deer.
about swimming.
Okay. Yeah, the topic is oceans versus pools.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So lakes are right out, huh?
Lakes are out.
'Cause
Lakes are gross.
Is it
Lakes
because
are-
the water's stagnant?
To me, it is.
I feel like it's, there are people who, like, in Los Angeles, I feel like your question would only be ocean versus pool.
Yeah.
But, like, if you're
Right.
outside of Boston, where I grew up, it would be like, and there would be lakes and ponds in there, and rivers.
Yes.
Rivers are I love rivers.
Yeah.
There's something, I guess, when you fly over lakes, like a lake from an airplane makes it look really gross. You know what I mean? Like, lakes just look like standing water on a gross part of the country when you're looking at
Really?
them from an airplane.
I didn't expect you to judge so hard on a lake.
I grew up on lakes. I loved being in the lake.
Do you?
Yeah,
Did you?
I loved water skiing. I loved going out on a boat. And this was in Tennessee. We had a lot of boats and areas to go out on them. But like,
Yeah.
if you got in the water, you immediately needed a shower. And if your feet touched the bottom of a lake, the bottom of a lake is the grossest thing in the world.
Depends on the lake.
Yeah, it doesn't clean itself out like the ocean does,
Yeah.
I guess.
And it doesn't have the filtration system that you install in a pool.
Yeah.
So lakes are gone.
Yeah.
There in
Lakes were never a contender in this.
at Syracuse, the crew team practiced on Lake Onondaga, which I think was famous for having a several inches thick deposit of mercury at the bottom.
Oh.
So it was sort of like how I understand the rivers of America to be at Disneyland, which is you do not touch the water
No.
lest you die. Like you will immediately age like the villain in Last Crusade and die like
Yeah.
as soon as you touch
that water,
it.
you've chosen poorly.
Yeah.
What is Rivers of America at Disneyland?
It's where it's over by Frontierland and Pirates.
Yeah.
It's where
New Orleans
the Steamboat
Square.
is.
So it's like a setting river. It's not like a go in this river.
No.
It's just,
Go in a boat in this river. It's
Although
where they do Fantasmic.
They also have the Davy Crockett Explorer canoes. So you're sitting in a canoe and rowing. You could very easily touch that water.
and
And then is there a protocol? Mark, you worked at Disneyland. Isn't there a protocol for if you get into that water? Or am I
Yeah,
insane?
you're immediately burned.
Okay.
it's like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, just like, you're gone.
Yeah.
You're dead. I'm sorry.
You disappear. You're a bad egg.
So, Angela,
Yes.
are you a big swimmer? Do you enjoy swimming a lot?
Not really.
I'm so glad this is the topic that
Yeah.
we're
Well,
discussing.
no, like I have like since I've been here, but I grew up outside of Boston and there's like, we had a lot of lakes and stuff, but I just, I hate my body. So I don't go in public into water very much.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me three.
I always was,
I feel like a lot of
always had a shirt on all the time.
Yeah.
Which like kind of defeats the purpose because as soon as you get out, you become like I was like Fat Bo Derek where it like just clung. It became like, oh, he's got a second skin. It just says Ocean Pacific on it.
Yeah. Yeah. But I like the idea of swimming a lot, and I found it very relaxing of late. And I have a lot of opinions about the ocean and pools. Can I say one more thing about lakes before we
Would you
just,
please?
As many as you want.
just
Yeah.
before we like ignore that they exist? Is that Walden Pond, which is I think technically a lake but called a pond, I'm not sure how science goes, is like one of the nicest places in the world.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's why Thoreau never left.
Yeah,
He's
that's
like,
why
"Oh, I'm
he's
just
still
gonna stay
there.
right-
That's,
he's
to this
still
day.
there."
Again, like Last Crusade, he's just there protecting the pond.
Yeah. Dressed like an old knight. Where is Walden Lake? Is that near where you grew up?
Yeah, Walden Pond is like near Concord and stuff, where like America was born and things like that. It's very pleasant. It's just a nice place where I feel like people from the Boston area can kind of finally be like, we're supposed to be appreciating nature right now, and so we're gonna do it. Like, we're appreciating nature. It's very big and pleasant.
People from Boston can even make that sound like a threat. We will appreciate nature.
Just imagine what Thoreau would be like when he was here. So let's do that. But,
he would probably be like, you guys, there's too many people in this.
Yeah.
I'm wicked hiding. So wait, I want to talk about body shape for a little bit more. Cause I've found that since I met Jennifer, and especially since I got married, that I'm not as I certainly think about it, but I'm a little bit less, I'm okay to just get in. Like, we were all on the Joko cruise. Mm-hmm. I was like, all right, this is the part where I just take my shirt off and get in the pool because it's hot and I want to get in the pool. Mm-hmm. And certainly I stayed in the water below my, the neck was right above the water line, but still I had less of a problem. Do you find that to be the case? Yeah,
definitely as I've gotten older. And I feel like there are a few things. First of all, like with a lot of my insecurities, I'll see other, especially like women my age who are like owning themselves, like, and being like, I'm fat and I'm great. And like, this is just the kind of clothes I like. And I'm like, I'm so inspired by that I feel like if I were to reclaim my own power, it would be inspiring to somebody else. So it's like, let's do it.
Pay the inspiration forward.
Yeah, exactly. And also, I don't know, I guess I just don't care that much. Like I've just overall more confident in the things that I'm proud of about myself. So I don't care as much if I'm, whatever, if I don't love the way I look in a particular way.
Right. Good for you.
I don't know.
But now you're here. It's been really hot, like the last
it's been ridiculous
couple of weeks.
Yeah.
So, and that's sort of moved. You've been swimming since you got here.
So this is the first time in my life, but that I've stayed in a house that has a pool. So it's like the best possible situation.
Nice.
Like the person who has been kind enough to let us stay with her is just like, well, I've got a pool in my backyard, so I don't even have to go into public when I can go swimming. It's like the greatest thing ever. There's a float shaped like a unicorn.
Oh,
we got another one.
Did you bring that float with you?
No.
Like, that seems like something you would add to that pool.
That's true. We did very nearly buy one. But then we also bought one that looks like an avocado and the pit comes out and it's a beach ball.
What?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead right now and say that pool toys, there's no ocean toys. Pool toys are definitely a mark in favor of the swimming pool.
Well, yes, but if you take a snorkel, you've seen a kid with goggles and a snorkel in a pool, and all they're going to see is cement and maybe some nice tile work and butts.
Yeah.
So many butts.
So many butts. Usually if somebody's doing that, it's because I did it when I was like 8 or 9. It's because you want to go and mess with people and like grab them by the ankles and scare them, which does not scare anyone because clearly there's a kid with a snorkel on coming up to your feet.
He's right there. There he is.
Like, oh, you startled me. Wave that I saw coming from 6 feet away.
Mark, how good a swimmer are you?
I'm a really good swimmer, actually.
Yeah?
Yeah. I took lessons as a kid, and so I learned, there's some strokes that I cannot do. I'm a good freestyle swimmer. I'm a good breaststroke swimmer. Mm-hmm. I cannot at all do the backstroke. Because I feel like I'm going to sink. Mm-hmm. And butterfly, God bless Michael Phelps and all of the swimmers in the Olympics because that stroke looks impossible to me. And if I did that, I would just look like I was drowning and flailing and I wouldn't go anywhere.
Hold on a second. So will you not back float in a pool because you think you'll sink?
It feels weird. Like when you're in a pool and you like breathe in and you like float. And then as you exhale, it's like, oh, I better not exhale all of this because I'm going to sink to the bottom of the pool. Yeah. And then you breathe in again. I don't like that undulation. It's jarring and scary to me. I can't relax on my back in a pool.
So but you took like the American Red Cross classes where it's like beginner, advanced, beginner, intermediate, advanced. Did you ever have those like in summer camp?
Did you have these?
No,
Did you have them?
I did take swimming lessons, but it was just at like a ladies' pool.
Yeah, I just took him at the
some
Y.
straight-
Just wait,
They
a
come
strange
in.
lady.
I'll teach you to swim. I'll
just sign
teach
up
you
for
the
him.
world.
Was her house made of candy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did she have a chicken foot house?
Yes.
I
Do you
think-
know her?
Yeah, Baba Yaga.
Uh-huh.
She's my aunt.
I think her first name was Sandy. Baba Sandy.
Baba
Yaga.
Baba
Sandy
Sandiaga, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, she was
That-
great.
Where in the world is Baba Sandiaga?
That was good times.
But what? So you took swimming lessons as a child,
Yes.
and you'd say you're a proficient swimmer.
Oh, I'm very, very bad at swimming. I don't do it a lot, but I can float on my back. That's like the only time I'm ever truly relaxed.
Yeah,
Really?
it is really
So
relaxing.
nice. Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't. I wish I had that skill.
You have to. Next time we are both in a pool, I will teach you.
Okay.
I'll teach you. It does not take long, and it's great because I was taught, and I had a
Yeah.
similar fear, and then I got to where you are, where it's like, if I'm in a pool, that is if I'm doing that, that's the relaxation time for sure.
That's my husband also can't float on his back, and I was like, I can help you, I can teach, because I remember my teacher just being like, put your feet up, hold them up, and like being terrified the whole time. And I tried to explain it to him, and it didn't work. So I don't know. Some people just have heavy legs.
I like I guess that's it. In a pool, the way that I relax is I just get in the pool and I can't relax this way for long because I need air, but just blow out all the air I have and then just sink under and be completely weightless.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's another, again, there's a lot of good things about pools that are coming up here. The ability to be in water that is not jostling you around.
Yeah.
You have more control of the space around you in a pool.
True.
Like,
True.
like you're in the space station or something.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Pretending you're an astronaut. I'll like, I get in the deep end of the pool and I'll stand on the bottom of the deep end. Do you ever do the Superman? Just pretend you're Superman and just shoot right up as hard as you can.
Oh yeah, of course. Yes.
If you're in like 8 feet, then you got a good, for me, almost 3 feet to go.
Okay. Well, we should probably talk about, let's talk about pools, pros and cons. I know everybody is going to ask, and thank you, Mark, for asking me. As a swimmer, I'm pretty good. I went to a day camp where you took classes and it was beginner, like it was whatever.
This was the Red Cross camp? that you
Yes,
went to?
I made it to intermediate, but not, I spent my whole time with a barrel with 3 X's around my neck. I didn't make it to advanced because you were supposed to like tread water for a minute. And I did it for what I thought was a minute.
How long
And
was it?
could have gone longer. 3 seconds. No, I think it was like 45. Like it was just short, but I didn't, I thought I'd heard them say like, okay. So I never got that advanced.
What is treading water?
Treading water is where you got your head out and you're sort of moving your arms and legs just to sort of stay stationary,
Oh, okay.
but you're staying afloat. You're keeping yourself afloat and not sinking,
Yeah.
just because you're sort of moving the water around you.
Yeah.
So they want you to tread water for a certain amount of time.
Would you like us to give you an honorary certification since it was unfairly not granted to you?
I think that's what I've been hinting at this whole time.
Okay.
You know what? Hold on, guys. I'm going to plug the printer in.
Don't
It's
tear
a
the
dot
sides.
matrix.
Just make sure the sides tear off cleanly.
No. I'm just gonna leave the holes on the sides.
Oh, great.
So, yeah. So, we're gonna make it banner style.
Oh, perfect. Can Garfield be on it?
Shop.
It's like 20 pages long. It's great.
We had one that was just Garfield stuff. You could make your own Garfield comic, but this was for the Commodore 64, so you couldn't really make much of a comic. And at that age, I didn't really understand. I just knew I liked Garfield, but I didn't know why.
Yeah.
So I'd just be like, there he is in a box with Odie. I'm just going to send this to Jim Davis.
Oh, that's so good. There's a Twitter account called eBay Garfield that's just people selling Garfield things. And every time I look at him, I just remember how much I loved Garfield, and I have no idea why. Like, I had so much Garfield stuff. That's not related.
What was your most, what is the weirdest Garfield thing you had, and what was your favorite thing? Maybe they were the same.
Well, I feel like they were all books, but there was one where it was Garfield that was like 9 different styles. Like there was a film noir Garfield and then like a hyper
It's called
realistic.
9 Lives.
Yeah. And
This was
Classic.
one of the books.
It's a hardcover anthology of Garfield short stories.
Yeah.
It's really good in
was-
different styles.
it was very strange and
Yes.
but beautiful.
Because one of them, Garfield, is a murderer. Garfield murders
Wait,
an old
what?
woman in one of them.
No.
Yeah.
They had Garfield murder. Jim Davis, come on.
I don't think he wrote that story. He didn't write any of them. It was other.
It was Alan Moore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was Alan Moore's version. It was the uncovered Shakespeare Coriolanus scene with Garfield in it. But what was your favorite?
I don't know. Like, I have a memory of owning just so many of the little books. Like, I think we get them at yard sales, the kind of like half page or the half.
Like the long
ones.
books.
Yeah. But I don't know why I liked it or how or when or what. But I loved it.
It's the magic of
I
Garfield.
had so much of it. And that's
you-
why I hate
Sorry, go ahead.
Mondays.
Oh.
Sure, but love lasagna.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And kick dogs off of tables.
Yeah.
I had the phone. Did you guys ever have the phone?
No.
I had the Garfield,
Cool.
a plastic Garfield phone that
Yeah.
his back was the receiver, and you would pick it up and his eyes would open. And it would look like he was laying there sleeping until you, and this was my phone for my entire childhood. Was the Garfield
So
phone.
good. Does that Garfield phone still exist, or was it thrown out a long time ago?
That was thrown out a long time ago. Oh yeah, when college happened, my mom was just, okay, anything that you don't take with you is going to, she said Goodwill. It probably went to one of those big car crusher things. I assume.
It's a
'Cause-
cube.
Yeah.
No.
It's
Yeah.
a little tiny little, it's the size of a die.
Mm-hmm.
Just a
And
little
then
Garfield.
Garfield's eye is right outside of it, like a monster thing.
Always keeping watch.
Cube.
Did you have any good Garfield stuff?
I did. I had all the books. I had the treasuries. I had like the first 5, I think, treasuries that came out. Like I would get them as they came out. It was a really big deal. We had the Garfield that stuck to the window in the car.
Oh,
I remember
yeah.
that. Classic.
Geez, I think I had a stuffed Garfield too. I must have, cause I had a large stuffed animal collection that I made, like painstakingly arranged in like a tableau well into my teenage years. In fact, the most prized of those stuffed animals, who was a beanbag turtle named Turtle, still is at the home in Philadelphia.
Was this a Beanie Baby?
No,
This is a
no.
beanie adult.
He was just he was a beanie adolescent
Okay.
yearning to be an adult. But we got him at like a flea market and he went with me everywhere and he's still like he will never go away
That's
ever.
going to be in the Hal Museum.
I would be deeply wounded if I found out my father threw away that turtle and he would know the second he did it that he had done something wrong because I shoved that thing in my parents' face all the time and made it talk to them. They were very gracious up to a point.
Angela, this just popped into my head.
Yeah.
From asking, or from saying that would be in the Hal Museum. What would be one artifact that would be in the Angela Museum?
Ooh, okay, I'm excited about this. My parents just moved out of their house, I guess, a couple years ago, and so everything that is memorabilia I now own, and then just got rid of a bunch of to move here. The thing I'm thinking about is when I was in like middle school, early high school, I made all of my friends fill out a survey and put it in a friend's notebook, which is like a binder that I decorated with punched out stars, and then on the back is like everything I had back then decorated with AOL CDs.
Wait, what?
Well, you could
Like
get
the 10,000 hour CDs?
Yeah.
You just glued them. That
Yeah.
is amazing.
I had those everywhere. So yeah, but the binder, it's just like everybody had to fill it out, and they like your dreams and your aspirations and who you're gonna marry and like all your dislikes and all of our favorite quotes and our inside jokes and stuff like that. And
Oh, that's so good.
That's
Yeah.
fantastic.
everybody
And you
did
still
it
have- so
every
this-
year. Yeah.
Did you stay friends with all of these people throughout the years, or
Oh no, like
are you in
one of
contact
them.
with any of them? And
Not one of them, did you say?
No. I think about one
Okay,
or two
okay.
of those people. I'm still in touch with, but yeah, it's so weird. It's cool.
a little time capsule.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
also is like I was so clicky and like really obsessed with logging everything, and like I'm gonna remember this time even though I was not like happy or anything. I'm just like I'm gonna remember everything
Yeah.
because I never want to forget.
It's so funny. I didn't take any pictures in college. There are very few pictures of me from college that exist, like there, because I just didn't, I was the opposite where I was like, I'll just remember. If something's important, I'll remember it later.
Yeah.
And I wish I had taken some more pictures, but I also am kind of okay with what at this point, I've kind of gotten to a place where I'm like, well, if I didn't remember it, maybe it wasn't that important.
Yeah.
or I've repressed it. It'll come up
Yeah.
in some sort of weird like hypnotherapy
Yeah.
session.
It'll come up with you yelling at Jen for no reason about dinner.
Yeah. Welcome to, what is it, Revolutionary Road? Wasn't that?
How's your lasagna? Jeff hit me. All right, guys. I love this. We're off topic. We got to talk about. Are we done with pools?
No.
Let's talk about
We haven't,
pools.
we haven't
then.
even started. I was scared of pools for a very long time.
Ooh.
Specifically one pool, and I loved swimming. I was specifically scared of the pool at the Somerton Springs Swim Club.
Me too.
Where we went. You were,
Yeah.
probably for the same reason that you thought the cocoons from the movie Cocoon were at the bottom, and you hadn't really seen the movie. All you knew was that there were weird mossy cocoons in pools,
Yep.
and that aliens were in them. Why? And they
But
maybe
they're nice old people aliens.
you don't know if one of them's a jerk and isn't going to grab you by the ankle and pull you in, and then you're gone.
Man.
Like a kid wearing a scuba mask.
Yeah, exactly. Except it's Wilford Brimley wearing a scuba mask.
Yeah, they're just acting like kids. Did you see that Don Amici pulled that guy under? He was gone. But that didn't stop me from going in the pool, but I was constantly looking down. And I think I was afraid of being pulled under because I'd almost drowned in a pool when I was a little bit younger. This was in Wildwood, New Jersey. I got in the pool and was too far from the wall and didn't really know how to swim yet. So I just started sinking and I was fighting. And once you get under, you start to fight. You don't know what you're doing. You start sinking more. And I got to the point where I literally stopped and shrugged underwater. I remember this very vividly, like, guess I'm going to die now. And my mother, who could not swim at all, jumped into the pool and pulled me to safety. And she could not swim either, so she was barely like.
And then Bill had to jump in and save her.
Yeah, but then he didn't know how to swim, so it was a stranger. It was a real bucket brigade of saving. No, but she pulled me to safety, and I think that was why she wanted me to swim. She wanted me to learn how to swim because she never knew how.
Oh, for sure.
Have either of you ever drowned in a pool almost?
No, I have, okay, well, I have an ocean story. Is that okay
Let's
right now?
save it for
Okay,
the ocean
I'll save
section.
it for ocean. Yeah.
Save it for the ocean. I never nearly drowned in a pool.
Never.
I did have my paternal grandmother, my grandmom, would sit by the pool, and when we would do things that looked dangerous to her, she would yell and yell and yell that she was going to come in there and she was going to whoop us. And she was going to teach us a lesson, but we all knew that there was no way in hell she was getting into the pool because she was a wonderful, tiny, squat, tough Italian woman from Philadelphia in her late 70s who, in a house coat, who had, like, at the pool, who had no interest in actually getting in the water. I will come in there. Okay, grandmom. And we would just keep doing whatever it was.
Don't make me come in there, Mark.
Oh my
Mark,
God, you
don't
sound
make
just
me.
like her.
I'm going to get in there. I'm going to get in that pool.
God rest her soul.
Don't make me. I'm taking off the first house coat.
Did you now? So I didn't have a near drowning. Angela, you didn't have a near drowning. Hal had a near drowning. So 1 out of 3.
One of
Yeah.
us was real bad at being in a pool as
Right.
a kid.
I did have a near drowning in an ocean.
Save it.
We're saving
No,
For the
I
ocean.
know, but I'm saying we're saving the stories. But I'm trying to figure out like where our comparison is because we haven't really set up any criteria. We're just going pros and cons of each.
Yeah, I think we're ultimately going to come up with from those who has more pros than cons, or do the
Great.
pros of one outweigh the cons?
So let's start making our lists. What are the pros of a swimming pool? We've talked about pool toys are fun. You can control the space of the water. It doesn't feel as uncontrolled.
Temperature. You can control the
You
temperature.
can control the temperature. It's cleaner,
often.
ostensibly.
Often,
Often
yes.
cleaner.
However-
I mean, it's full of bleach.
Well, I think a pool there's a variable of like, it can be very relaxing or it can get full really fast.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's like sort of a balancing act there.
Yes, I remember like the public pools in Northeast Philly would load up, and I would look at it and go, "There's no way I'm getting in there because there is no space." It does not look like fun. It's a bunch of people bobbing up and down in one spot, and they have to have heated up the pool to near boiling temperature just with their bodies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is good because that'll kill all the bacteria they're putting in there.
Yes.
Is there germ considerations for a public pool?
I mean, I guess probably there are more people. All right. If you're in a pool, which is a finite amount of space and a couple people pee, that's trouble. Now they have the dye where it turns green or something.
I feel like that's a urban legend, isn't it?
It's been around. It's an urban legend that's been around for at least 20 years, and it may be real.
Yeah. Well, I feel like they tell everyone there's no one's going to refute it because no one wants to have a person pee in the pool. So let's all just maintain this.
Let's all go pee in pools and see if it's real. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Let's say yes.
That being said,
come on, guys. Let's all go pee in the pool.
Is there anybody here who has never peed in a pool?
I have never peed in a pool. Not consciously not any older than like a toddler. I was terrified of that dye.
Oh, sure.
Really?
Yeah. I don't think I ever peed in the pool.
Oh, now who's the rule follower?
What?
I peed in a pool. Yeah.
Did you guys pee in the pool?
Yeah.
I don't remember the age cutoff. But yeah, of course I've peed in a pool.
22.
25.
Yeah. Next
toddler
year.
is under 25?
Yeah, toddler. Exactly.
Okay, yeah. Next year.
Next year I'll stop.
Not older than 30. I've never peed in the pool.
Oh, good. Oh, easy. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, I have not either. Because at that age, you're like, I'm just going to go to the restroom that's right over there.
Yeah.
When you're a child, you're like, I can just, this whole thing's just a big toilet if you think about it.
I think when I went to my brother's wedding, it was at an all-inclusive resort and there was a bar in the pool and people would just drink and drink and drink and drink in the pool. And I got out every time and went to the bathroom when I had to pee, and then I would get back in the pool. And it eventually dawned on me that I was the only one doing that.
Oh, God. Why?
It was a big enough
Well,
pool.
it is all inclusive.
Yeah, exactly. So, pee
Yeah.
is a definite negative
Sure.
for a swimming pool.
Mm-hmm.
How about, what else is a negative for a swimming pool?
I feel, well, it depends. Like, there's public pool. Obviously, that's like socially uncomfortable. I don't know, just because there's humans around, and that's always the worst.
Yep.
Or like a pool party. That's like most of my pool experience. I feel like was like adolescence and teens, and like
at
I'm
someone's house that had a pool. Okay.
And that's just.
Did you hate that?
I hated it. I did.
I did too. But I wanted a pool party when I was very young at like the Y. Because it had an indoor pool, and my birthday is in January.
Yeah, I had one. I remember
you had a January birthday too?
No, yeah, 1 year.
1 year.
And a pool party.
Everybody should try it once.
January Boston pool party, you guys.
Yeah.
You had a Y pool party?
No, I think we got like a room at the hotel in Westford, Massachusetts, so I could have like a pool party with like 3 friends. I might have a November birthday, so.
Okay.
Was it an indoor pool?
It was an indoor pool, yes. It was a fish themed party. Any other questions?
The band
Yes.
or the animals?
Yes. And the fish played there.
Oh,
but
wow.
that was to fit in with
But
the
the
fish.
band fish with the F.
Yeah.
Oh, that was so they would fit in.
With the fish theme, the nautical theme, yeah.
I like that.
Did you wear a fin, like a mermaid fin?
I did not. But I've been thinking about that a lot recently.
About doing it?
Yeah. Or hiring people to do it just to kind of be around me.
Just have mermaids around you at all times?
Yeah.
Would they have a tank that they would have to be in?
I don't know.
Like that little fish on the back of the scooter in Em and Otter's Jugman Christmas?
Yes.
Not a lot of people saw that, I guess.
Mark.
All right. So we've got our list. We're starting to whittle things down, like things we like and things we don't like about pools. It seems like the social aspect of a public pool is uncomfortable.
Yes.
That the peeing in the pool, which kind of fits in that same feeling. But there is a controllable factor in a pool that is a plus for it. Would you guys agree with that?
Yes.
Yes. And diving boards. Diving boards are
I love diving
the
boards.
best.
Yeah?
They're
Diving
so much
boards are
fun.
amazing.
There are high dives too that I never want to take, but the fantasy of jumping really high into a pool and being safe is always there.
Yeah. There's a lot of good TV shows about it.
About high diving?
Yeah.
Do you remember the show where celebrities did high dives?
Yes.
Is that
I
what you
remember
were
promos
referencing?
for it.
I remember seeing Louis Anderson.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just getting him in the pool was like, they gave him a 10 just because he finally went forward off the diving board instead of backwards back down the stairs.
And he was in tears.
Yeah.
Just at having done it. I guess it was so traumatic for him.
God bless him for doing it.
And then he won an Emmy like a couple years later. So go dive off a high board into some water.
And you will win an Emmy.
And you will win an Emmy if you play Zach Galifianakis' mother.
Everybody gets a turn.
Girl.
That's Hollywood. Everybody gets a turn.
Should we move on to Ocean?
Yeah, I mean, is there anything else to say? Well, okay, let's talk about some other. I just want to talk about a couple other varieties of pool because ocean is an ocean. There are two kinds: sand on the bottom and coral on the bottom. But pools, you have the in-ground, which is kind of what we're talking about here.
Nobody is talking about an above-ground pool being more fun than any other
There are
version.
some good above-ground pools that are relaxing. You can still, because you can build, so my sister and brother-in-law have an above-ground pool that they've built a deck around. So for all intents and purposes,
so it
feels like an in-ground.
Yeah.
And you
But
can
just like that one that you see advertised on TV that's just basically like a giant hot tub, or it looks like a tent that's been flipped over and filled with water.
Yes. No, those aren't great.
I feel like that was what most pools were like when I was a teen. It was just like a big column of water.
Yeah.
I remember the one fun thing about that is that if you all swim around in a circle, you can make it like a whirlpool thing, which feels dangerous. And I think we were always
put one person in the middle. And
and
the eye of the storm.
And then you could float around in the circle, but we were always told to stop. So maybe you shouldn't do that. I don't know if that should be part of the argument.
Well, that's what's going to send you down to the Cocoon people.
Oh no!
Yeah, Jessica Tandy's waiting for you. Do you really want her to drag you down to the briny deep of your above ground pool?
I want to keep bringing up the movie Cocoon just to see how many of the cast members you remember. Don Amici, Wilford Brimley, and Jessica Tandy's so fun.
That's right.
I get that movie confused with Batteries Not Included.
Similar cast.
Same time, some of the little crossover.
But it didn't have the same terror of thinking that Hume Cronin was going to drag you down to the bottom of the pool and hold you there until all the oxygen left your body. What about kid pools? Can we talk about them very quickly? Because I remember two kinds.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
One was like the cool kind where it was preformed and rigid, so all you had to do was pour water in.
Yeah.
And then there were the ones that we had, which was like the plastic bottom. It was all folded in.
Yeah.
So you'd pour in the water and then you'd have to hold
water
the
was what
walls
made it
up
fill up
as you went. Yeah, absolutely. So I always wanted one of the solid, because sometimes the solid ones would have like a little slide and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or pictures of like Mickey Mouse on the outside.
Yeah, Mickey would be on there.
Mm-hmm.
And then like the version that I had with like Morky Mouse and Dolan Duck were there hanging out. Gooby, please. All right, that's enough about pools. I don't have anything else. Do you have anything else to add about pools?
I really like pools.
You do?
Yeah.
That's what I have to say about it. Yeah. Right now I'm into it.
Because you're new to Los Angeles and you have one in your backyard?
Correct.
Yeah.
That
you
is
started this whole thing with like, oh, pools are not for me. And then it would like, I really love pools.
Yeah,
guys.
no.
Yeah.
It's the last 9 days really turned me around on them.
I feel you.
Well, I'll tell you what, before we wander over to the oceans to see what we like and dislike there, let's take a brief break.
Find out where that dinging is coming from.
Find out where that dinging is coming from, and I'll go talk to Steve Guttenberg on the set of Cocoon in 1985. And he'll tell me about some of the other great shows on Maximum Fun. That's when we come back.
The three of you enter a cave of a big red dragon and is standing over a hoard of precious golden rubies. And he says, "What do you do, adventurers? I'm a dragon man."
I cast fire on him. It's very good.
I address the red dragon and say, we're the hosts of The Adventure Zone, a podcast about family playing Dungeons and Dragons.
Very good synergy. Commit to the bit.
I rolled to charm new listeners. It is very effective, against all odds.
Everybody, we're the McRoys. We host The Adventure Zone. It's a podcast where we play Dungeons & Dragons together. It's a comedy podcast. We don't take the rules too seriously because there's a lot of them, and we did not take the time to learn them. Maybe listen to us. We come out every other Thursday on the Maximum Fun Network. You can find us on iTunes or on MaximumFun.org. I think this promo's a critical hit.
Hey Max Fun fans, it's me, Jesse, the owner of Maximum Fun. I've got a question for you. Will you help us make our shows better? We wanted to find a way to find out what the Max Fun community thinks about our shows. So we started something called the Max Fun Listener Panel. Basically, you subscribe to a podcast feed, and twice a month or so, roughly speaking, we'll send you an episode of a show and instructions on how to fill out a quick survey about what you think about that show. 10 questions, nothing too crazy. You'll be hearing existing shows that we're thinking about making changes to, secret pilots of shows that we're developing that you'll only hear this way, shows we're considering adding to the network, and what you think about them really matters to us. So, to join the panel is easy. Just go to MaximumFun.org/listener panel. That's MaximumFun.org/listener panel. Thanks for helping make Max Fun better.
And we're back.
Angela, tell us your ocean story.
Please.
Okay. Well, it's not me. It's my sister, which is even worse. I don't know. And this is also to your pool toys. We had a big alligator, like an inflatable alligator, and with 2 handles on it.
A classic.
Yeah.
And I remember we were in an ocean with it. And this story, was retold to us so many times that I actually have no idea what was real. But there was a cocoon.
Weird.
Hume Cronin was in it.
There he was.
But Aubrey, my sister, was on the alligator. It somehow flipped upside down with the waves, and she was still holding on to it, probably for about 45 minutes, and then she almost died until somebody saved her. I don't think that's true, but she flipped over for just a minute. Was pretty sure she was gonna die until my dad flipped her back over or got her. But it was definitely the story we had since I was 3 years old of if you're in the ocean, chances are, even if you're on a flotation device, 90% you're gonna drown, and there's gonna be fish there. That story always had and then there were fish nibbling on my toes or something. My dad thought it was a really cute thing, and I was oh, there's animals that want to eat you. The alligator won't save you.
A fish nibbling on your toes turned into an alligator wanting to, or a fish, animals in the sea wanting to eat you.
Exactly.
What did a puppy licking your face turn into?
I don't like dogs. I have a lot of fears that I'm really excited to talk about.
Great.
About this.
Which of them revolve around the ocean?
Octopuses. So octopuses are super smart, and they're everybody knows all of those stories about how they can climb through tiny spaces and open jars. And
that video of one opening a jar is jarring.
And I am absolutely terrified of octopuses and sharks and just anything else in the ocean, not for any particular personal reason, but the only way I can get myself to not be afraid is I have made a personal pact with sea creatures that I'm going to stay on land and they will stay in the ocean, and therefore we will not fight anymore.
So you will not get in an ocean.
I'll put my feet in a little bit, but the fear is strong, and somehow I made that mental rule for myself a few years ago of nah, that's okay. They should be free, and I'll leave them alone.
So if somebody's Angela,
yeah,
I have a trip for you and your husband. I'm going to take you to Hawaii.
Yeah.
This is going to be a beautiful day. We're going to go out on a catamaran. And then around the island of Molokini, just off of Maui, we're going to go snorkeling.
Yeah. Well, and I've done that, but it's terrifying every time. And afterwards, I have to force myself to overcome the this is very uncomfortable and scary. And then afterwards, I'm not immediately, let's do that again.
Do you enjoy boats?
I like boats. I like going on the cruise, the Joco cruise, and I like a little catamaran sometimes. But I feel that is a betrayal of the pact that I've made with the ocean.
Really? Even being above the water?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, because I don't know. I've never read Lovecraft, but that really hits me that's going to happen.
Well, if you look at any Lovecraftian images, of course you're going to hate the water, because isn't there a kraken in every picture?
Yeah. And those are in the, we don't know for sure that doesn't exist.
We can't prove it.
Prove a negative.
That's true. That's true. We have no reason to assume that, and they're probably all under the control of Brian Dennehy, which is why they'll pull you down.
There you go.
Into the briny.
All right. So in negatives for ocean, krakens.
Yes.
All forms of death.
Yeah.
The second you set foot in the ocean, something will kill you.
The motion of the ocean is tough. And the reason I use that specific example is on our honeymoon, Jennifer and I went snorkeling at Molokini. It was one of the things that we did. And the waters were so rough that on the boat, we were like, even I was getting motion sickness, which I don't.
Mm-hmm.
Jennifer was like full blown. I'm going to lay down with my eyes closed real tight, but let's get in the water. It'll probably be better there. And even just swimming around, it was so rough that I was getting nauseated just being in the water.
Wow.
Which I've never experienced before. So that is a negative, but I also think that movement is a positive because part of the fun of getting in the ocean is when the waves come.
Yeah.
And you try to jump over them or jump in them.
Oh yeah.
Or body surf.
There are moments that the variety that comes with the ocean. You get those moments of like, oh, the anticipation of that is really fun.
Yes.
I feel like now I feel like it's really fun. I feel like we have to convince you.
No, I acknowledge that it is fun, but I have the fear part of it. Like I'll go and go past the waves and you just kind of bounce up and down and stuff, but I'm never like relaxed in the way that I would be in a pool where I'm just like, I'm having fun in the water because it's water and it's weightlessness and it's nice. It's like, I'm having a good time because I overcame a giant fear and I'm doing it, but also I could die and I wouldn't be like surprised.
But it doesn't get any better? Like you've done it. The next time you do it is a little less scary, or is it just, it has time to refill?
Roulette,
yeah.
And that you're like, well, okay, that time I didn't die. There's 5 more chambers.
I think, and it's probably, I know it's unreasonable. I was about to say it's probably unreasonable. I don't think that many people are killed by octopuses strangling them and pulling them to the deep.
You'd be surprised.
Yeah.
But
daily.
Well, we're doing so much to that poor ocean. Like, let's just leave them have their tea parties.
Are you a beach fan?
I'm also not a beach fan. So that's probably part of the problem.
I have a feeling that Pool's gonna win.
It kind of feels that way, but let's just see what happens. We'll just,
there's something that I like on the plus side for the ocean. For me, is that that it's natural, and it really does feel like communing with nature, because it feels like you are on the edge of the world, and when you look out at an ocean, the vastness of it is, I think, is good for perspective.
Yes. Did you ever fantasize as a child in the ocean that you could back float all the way to another continent?
Oh yeah. I always worried that I would lay down on the water, because salt water I could lay on because you're more buoyant.
Yep.
And that I would open my eyes and be in China.
Did that ever happen?
In an instant.
Not yet. Fingers crossed.
Okay.
Oh man, would I love to play a prank on you where you fall
Shanghai?
Where you fall asleep in the ocean? Yeah. And then I bring in a bunch of extras who only speak Mandarin. So when you come back, for all intents and purposes, you are there. There's like a backdrop and signs in Chinese. Oh, that would be so great.
Oh, that would be real mean, Hal. That would be real mean.
I wonder when I'm going to do that.
Another
tricky.
on the plus side for oceans.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. There was no stipulation in this topic. It just said ocean versus pool.
Right.
So I think one thing that the ocean has going for it is that it covers the vast majority of the earth and is a vast untapped ecosystem filled with all kinds of wonders that we are just now beginning to understand.
Yeah. I think if
Or is this more about I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I think if the question is which is better, and cooler, the answer is, I think, the ocean. Definitely. It's amazing. It's it's like a deity and a world that is literally another planet's worth of stuff we don't know about. It's awesome.
But is this question, is the comparison, is there a relationship to humans and being in it inherent in the question?
I think it is. I don't think you.
Or am I going to get accused of trolling if I say that the ocean's better because there's vast life forms in it?
Well, I mean, that's certainly if you're going to just make the argument of which has more value to humanity, it's the ocean.
Why has it always got to be about humanity, Hal?
Because
let it have more value to Mother Earth.
Mother Earth doesn't own a podcast network.
Yeah.
How does this affect Jesse?
I don't see Jesse wielding a trident and wading into the Pacific every night to go see his family, for goodness sakes.
Picture that very well.
I can picture it too.
Yeah.
With a small crown, like a tiny crown on his head.
He would have the absolute greatest, ocean going outfits.
My favorite part of going to Maximum Fun every week to record Tights and Fights is if Jesse is there, I'm very excited to see what he's wearing because he's got such a strong fashion sense that I have the opposite of. And I'm like, let's see what somebody with fashion sense is wearing. And it is never a disappointment.
I've always Jesse goes, I wonder which of the 4 t-shirts Hal's going to have on.
I don't think he thinks I have 4.
It's either going to be the Avengers, the Welcome to Night Fair Thrilling Adventure Hour crossover. Nope, that's it. Just those 2.
It's going to be one of them.
There's a Captain America in there.
There is a Captain America.
There's also a thrilling shirt that I also have that I think of as my Hal shirt.
Yeah, we have the same one.
Mm-hmm.
And I have the actual Hal shirt too. God. With my face on it.
Which is a pretty amazing shirt.
Oh.
Have you seen the Hal shirt?
I don't know if I have.
When we're done recording, I'll have to show you the Hal shirt.
Well, you know what? We have to take a picture together afterwards, so that'll be the picture with the Hal shirt.
Perfect.
That we'll post. Oh.
Right? No, it is perfect.
But I think what Haley was asking, I think she's talking about swimming. Like we were saying, it's summertime, you're getting in the water. I will say I've been in LA for 17 years and I've been in the Pacific Ocean twice.
You live on the ocean.
I live on the ocean. I've gone into kayak and I love that, but there's a pool in my apartment building. And I would, if it's hot and I want to be refreshed and relaxed, I'm getting in the pool.
Yeah. Do you do that a lot? Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
More often now than I have in the past. Okay. I've only been in a couple times this summer, but it's really nice. I'll go home and be like, oh, I'm hot. I'm going to throw on swim trunks, go in the pool real quick, and then come out. If I lived in a house with a pool, I'd probably be in it all the time. All the time.
You also have to, going to the beach and to get into the ocean, you have to walk a heck of a lot further than you usually have to walk to get into a pool. A pool is from the back door to the pool or down the block to the neighborhood pool. With the ocean, it's you pack all of your stuff up. You get however many friends or family are coming with you and you lug all of your gear down a half mile through sand to get into the ocean, which makes it feel more like getting in the ocean feels like an event. Whereas getting in a pool feels way more like a thing that you can just do every day.
But does that work? I mean, look, there are people who do not get to go to pools that often, so going to the pool is an event.
Yeah,
but
true.
Overall, taken as an average of the people who have ready access to swimming, the pool, the ocean is more of an event. In Philly, we're going down the shore. That's a big deal. Mm-hmm. Is that a tick in its favor? Because you just gave 2 sides of the same coin. One is you have to do all this prep work to go to the ocean. You got to pack a bag and bring your towel, your sunscreen, your little radio, football, whatever. But if you're going to the pool, you're probably just going to go there and jump in and then get out. But at the same time, going to the ocean is something very special, which is why you do all that prep work for it.
Yeah, it means more to get in the ocean. But
I don't know about that. Wait, what does it mean?
I mean, that for me, it goes back to that. I get very philosophical when I go into the ocean. That whole vastness thing. I'm stepping a toe into a thing that if I kept moving forward, I would wind up on another continent. That is crazy. We live in the United States. I am at the edge of the country. I've walked as far west in the United States as I can walk. That to me is it's a weirdly humbling, it feels big. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Does anybody here surf or has done that kind of thing?
I tried it.
Surfing.
I feel like that's I'm conquering nature kind of thing, or communing with it kind of experience, which I think if I weren't too scared to do it would be cool.
Mm-hmm. I'm not great at it.
Yeah.
I've done it a handful of times, but really love it for that reason. Mm-hmm. That, you're communing you're trying to listen to the waves and there's that sense of being with nature.
Mm-hmm. The film Moana.
Yeah.
I loved Moana so much. It is so, I've probably seen that movie half a dozen times now. Yeah. Just because the music's great.
It would be not as good of a movie if it was about a pool.
Exactly. She would just have to get from one end of the pool to the other.
Go get the rock,
Yeah.
get in a pool.
Why are you following the stars? You can clearly see the other side of this pool.
There's a ledge 6 feet deep going there, and I touched it. Now I'm done. Now I'm done. And that's the end of the movie. Just roll credits. But for 90 minutes because there was so much CGI.
Yeah.
Just to make that water in that movie looks good.
Oh
too.
boy, the water team did a great
Yeah,
job.
they
I want to talk about one dangerous thing in the ocean. We talked about octopi. We talked about sharks. There was a shark attack at the next beach over on our honeymoon, and it was like waist high water. Because that's something that Jennifer will say is like, a shark can attack you in waist high water. And I'm like, all right, I'm sure they can, but it doesn't mean that they will. Man,
Did you?
I'll tell you, I was wrong very early in my foray as a spouse.
Yeah.
To the point where like, well, I can't even make the argument because it happened. It happened like today. It happened right over there.
She paid that shark to do that.
She paid that shark off.
Hey, shark, help me make a point.
Man, I'll tell you, it was now it's very hard to get in that water, to get her in that water. I'm fine.
Yeah.
But the thing that I don't like are jellyfish.
Yes.
And jellyfish.
They're gross and stingy.
They'll sting you, and they're like in New Jersey, like Hawaii is coral, so you can't put your feet on the ocean floor at all. If you're surfing, you have to do the Nestea plunge and fall flat back. But in New Jersey, there are jellyfish everywhere and it's all sand. So you could step on one. So I would always want to wear water shoes. I did not and do not like going into the ocean barefoot. And
I love it.
Because I'm
But
afraid
New
of
Jersey's different
jellyfish.
because of the rocks too. Like
There aren't a ton of them. It's mostly
not-
sand.
it's not-
No. It's not very rocky.
I know New York, like the Rockaways, like those Jacob Riis Beach and all that is very.
Those are all dead bodies. Those are just a bunch of mobster skulls that you're stepping on.
Mobster skulls and the bottom part of a Coke bottle.
But I was always afraid of jellyfish. At one time, I'm standing in the water, like about waist high, and I look, and to the right of me is a giant jellyfish. And then I look on the other side of me and there's another giant jellyfish. And it was like the end of a Three Stooges. I popped out of the water and like ran on the surface. like
as a xylophone played.
Yeah. I was like, there goes 40-yard dash Jesus just running back towards the sand. And I did not get back in the ocean for a while after that because I figured out like they had my scent.
Yeah.
They're even on the dry land. Sometimes they'll just wash up. You can walk on them just walking on the sand.
Yeah,
The wet
jellyfish
part.
are gross. And they're gross and dumb and only exist to, like, oh, if anybody gets in my sphere, I'm going to hurt him. Like, that, ugh. I'm not a fan.
Yeah.
Pool wins.
Do you think you would pick for swimming? I think she's asking about swimming.
Yeah.
I would rather swim in the pool because there's also not an undertow that will drag you away no matter how good a swimmer you are. And then the lifeguard has to come get you. Something that also happened to me. Cause I know you swim along like the horizon line if that happens, but it pulls you out. You can't I was like, come on, people were making it up. The undertow can't be that bad. Cause that's what my mother would be like. Don't go out too far because of the undertow. Yeah. And then sure enough.
It's like playing blackjack.
Yeah.
You bust. Nope, you're done.
And I wasn't like I was being dragged to my death, but I was like, oh, I'm not getting any closer to shore. And until the undertow goes away, I won't be able to. And you start getting tired because you're swimming so hard to get back.
I'd just like to point out that in this episode about swimming.
Yeah.
I feel like anyone who listens to this episode will never swim.
Then we've done our job.
Well, I'm glad we eliminated like lakes and ponds because I think lakes are like super pleasant to swim in. They have like a finite number of creatures and none of them are octopuses. And then you're just there. But we can't talk about that. So
what about Anaconda? That was in the river.
That was in a river.
What about
Rivers
Lake Placid?
might be my favorite.
Lake Placid, there's a giant monster in the lake.
Man, why? You guys are obsessed with monsters.
Listen, when Oliver Platt tells you he's in Lake Placid, right? Probably is.
We used to, my old roommate in college and we used to love the movie Anaconda, specifically for the scene where the anaconda spits John Voight out and then he winks and then dies. like John Voight has been just, Oh man, if I ever get spit out of this anaconda, I'm gonna get one last little button zinger in.
Beautiful.
Does it feel like we're ready to rule then?
Yeah, I think so.
I'm ready.
All right. Were we all comfortable with this? Angela, as our guest, you're comfortable with the choice that I'm assuming we all think we have made?
Yes.
Do you want to do a 1, 2, 3?
Yes, just so we're all on the same page.
Okay. Go ahead.
1, 2, 3.
Pools.
Yeah.
People of the world, get out of the ocean. A shark will get you. My wife was right. It doesn't take much water. The jellyfish are there. The octopi are there. You can get sick just snorkeling around. Yes, I get it. Dolphins, Honu, beautiful fish. You just, right now we're sitting in Mark's apartment. What was that? Mammals. That's right. We're sitting looking at an aquarium filled with beautiful fish. And it's not even real. It's just a YouTube video he started playing.
Look, man, I like using my TV as a wall art.
I'm getting the best of the ocean. The whole Titanic is down there somewhere. There's so many like people bones at the bottom. You never go into a pool and see people bones. And if you do, call 911 because you just stumbled into a murderer's backyard.
Welcome to the Spectre House.
Yeah, pools are fun. Everybody gathers at the pool. It's a social engagement to all be there together. There are swim clubs and backyard parties and the Y and hotels. That's what the summer's about. You're swimming in a controlled environment. The ocean's great, but leave it alone. We do enough to the sea without putting our gross, oily, suntanned bodies into it. Like, it's enough that we're dropping in garbage without dropping in the worst garbage of all humanity into that ocean. That's it. Pools are better. Asked and answered. Well, thank you, Haley, for the suggestion. And Angela, thank you for doing the show.
This was so much
is coming
fun.
out. Love Problems is out right now.
Yes.
Tell everybody about it.
At the time of this playing, it came out yesterday.
It came out today.
Today. It's today.
Very
Unless you're listening on Wednesday. Then it came out yesterday.
Right. Time. Yeah. So Love Problems
I don't know when this show drops.
Is an album by my band, The Double Clicks.
Yeah.
It's got science, space, sadness, relationships. It's got some fun queer stuff on it. It's just, I'm really proud of this album, and it's out now on your iTunes and your whatever else, Spotify, places like that. So check out Love Problems by The Double Clicks, please.
And this was, you kickstarted this album, yeah?
Correct. We did Kickstart it. It was super well supported, which is awesome. We're going to be able to make some more stuff too. So, and we're bringing on tour.
That's awesome. When do you go on tour?
That'll be at the end of August. We'll be in New York at the Bell House, in the Philadelphia area, the Boston area, and near Washington, D.C. at Jam and Java in Vienna, Virginia. So thedoubleclicks.com has dates, and we'd love for people to come to those shows.
If you have not heard the Double Clicks, do yourself a favor. They are so much fun. I love listening to y'all, and I'm very excited that you have a new album out.
Thank you.
Yeah, not only is it well done music, but also there are tons of great positive messages for people out there who need all sorts of encouragement and to feel like they're not alone and to feel like they are supported and empowered. So, I mean, we've known each other for how many years now? 20 years.
Yeah.
Wow. Ever since we both escaped that cocoon at the bottom of the Somerton Springs pool. And then played Karate Champ at that one arcade machine outside of the snack bar together.
Fun. It's good times.
Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you so much for having me. It's an honor.
Will you come back?
Absolutely.
All right. Binding contract.
That's right. It's been recorded.
That's right.
It has to happen. Well, this topic is covered, but there are many more topics to discuss. So please reach out to us on Twitter at WeGotThisTweets or check out the Maximum Fun subreddit.
Or you can email us at WeGotThisPodcast@gmail.com. Or hey, why not join our Facebook group where we're all talking to one another? Angela's there.
Yeah.
I'm there. If Mark got on Facebook, he would be there.
You guys, I'm thinking about getting back on Facebook.
Oh, then you don't want to miss it. Go to Facebook.com/groups/WeGotThisPodcast. Thank you to producer Ken Plume, researcher Kate McManus, graphic designer Uri Kelman, and QA engineer Jen Alba.
And thank you, of course, to our musicians, Jonathan Dinerstein and Mike Furman, for our score and theme song, respectively. And thanks to you, our listeners. If we had a raft big enough for all of us to get on it, you guys, we would all jump in a great big pool right now. And it would be the best. And we would flip over, just like Angela's sister, and we would spend 45 minutes underwater together. I think that may have been an exaggerated story. Thank you for listening. Thank you. For Hal Lublin, I'm Mark Gagliardi.
For Mark Gagliardi, I'm Hal Lublin. And don't worry, everybody. We got this.
We got this.
MaximumFun.org.
Comedy and culture.
Artist owned.
Listener supported.